Hey everybody, it's Triple J, and welcome back to another episode of Bountiful Bayou here in City Skylines. Today I thought the last episode was very infrastructure heavy, and so I was feeling like we need to do more of it because I think our next big move is heading into our downtown proper and getting some of that going. And I know what you're thinking. Well, we have a lot of other projects to work on. We haven't finished up our university. We haven't filled in all of these areas yet. But I think we haven't finished up our farms yet. We haven't developed this area. But I think what's important is not that we are abandoning any of this or just like stopping to work on it. I think bouncing around is very valuable and helpful to sort of see the overall picture of what you're building. So I'm not saying that we go over here and build every development in our downtown and work on all of this stuff, but what I am saying is that by adding in road systems layer by layer and building these things like we did last time, right? Building this interchange, which, by the way, definitely a lot of people are using. And so this is a good litmus test. It's good to see, okay, so they're entering over here, which means that it is much faster, which kind of makes sense because we don't have this connection up, is that it is much faster to get through here. This is the way for the industrial trucks to exit the city. Now, do we want all the industrial trucks exiting the city here? Maybe, maybe not. It's going to depend on how thick the traffic gets through here, because we have to keep in mind this is on the outskirts of the city, so that might determine whether or not we have another interchange over here or possibly another connection up to the highway over to here. So by doing things like this, sort of building slowly, building methodically, deciding where your roads are going, that can really help determine and help you examine where traffic is flowing, how it's moving. If you connect a road up to here, what does that do to the traffic? And that can really help you really understand your city a little bit better and how everything is moving about. Now, one other thing that we're going to want to do along with this infrastructure is think about our rail. Definitely going to want to think about the rail early on. Now, in my head, sort of in this downtown sector, right, near the commercial downtown, we should have ideally it's right in the middle here. I don't know how feasible that's going to be, but if we dot in somewhere in this area a transport hub, that is going to tell us a lot about where we want to move the roads. Where do we want that transport hub to exist? How do we want the highways to connect? Do we want to make a Y split and sort of have, some sort of an interchange in here? The only hesitation I have about that is not for the traffic purposes. I think the traffic would be good. My only concern about that is the size of it. I mean, we are giving ourselves some room, but, with the lake here and once we get in the roads and stuff, we're going to start to see a little bit more about where this is headed. And the other thing to consider as well is if we connect it up here, what does that mean? Is it going to carry on through the other side? What's going to live over here? These are a lot of questions to think about, but I think we have to just sort of start to build and kind of see how that's going to all shake out. Because again, we were discussing this road was going to come through and there's going to be sort of a little inlet here, a little town, perhaps just an extended suburbs of the downtown area. Not real sure. The other thing is we talked about this being an industrial sector. So, do we want another road system to come off and connect up to here? Lots of things. I don't even have all the answers to this because I don't really know exactly how I want to do this just yet. But let's just dive in. let's just dive in and start to look at this. First things first, let's take a look at the terrain map and kind of what we're dealing with. I'm going to flatten all this. It looks like we're dealing with a couple of slightly varying heights, but that's okay. It's okay. It's so minimal. It's very, very minimal, but I'm just going to sort of flatten this out. And we can always reshape the coastline. I was really having trouble thinking about what that word was I was looking for. Coastline. And then we also have this sort of dip into this lake. I really like this lake because it does have the this kind of very cool rock feature. So yeah, my initial thought is that we could have a road coming alongside here, wrapping around the lake, but it's sort of like a lower road. And then people could live alongside that road, and then we could have sort of, have a road that comes up, or maybe the lower road is sort of just walking path, and then the upper road is where people live, kind of almost looking over on it. All the possibilities. Let me just keep flattening out this a little bit. I think I'm going to push this just a skosh closer. Yeah, because we don't really know what we're doing with that just yet. But yeah, we're kind of dealing, as you can see here, we got a little bit of that going on. That's fine. We can work with that. Okay, but that's the nice thing, though, about heights. And I know we've talked about this before, but when you have varying heights on your map, I do like to make certain areas flat, because generally speaking, buildings and things look a lot better flat. But when you have unique features, force yourself to think about, how can I use it? How can I use this little cliff here? Like, what could that be, right? Instead of just I don't sort of flatten things without thinking about it. I do consider the area and what we're doing with it, and that really can help determine what you're building as well, like where you want to go with it. Okay, so I'm gonna come across. I think we want the highway. I don't know if I want this raised. Maybe we do. Maybe we want a raised highway cutting through our downtown area. So in that case, so we slope up. Let me grab all this. Oops. Let me grab all this. And I'm going to raise it up just a bit. To like there. And that does slope this a bit. But I think I can soften that. I can soften that just so it doesn't feel as dramatic. These don't line up. I wonder if I can just pull that back a bit, and then there. It's not completely perfect, but what that does give us the benefit of is being able to come down a little bit, because what I want to do is, yeah, 15 meters. That seems about right to me. Then that's going to do that weird thing, which is fine. Get rid of that tree. Okay. I have trouble. propping tree anarchy on. That's why I did that. Okay. So if this maintains that height, and this maintains the same height, or at least very similar. Actually, I think I lowered that too much. There we go. Okay. So these come up. I would love to make actually a connection here. Now that we have this here, it'd be nice to have one there. But what is that really doing for us? I think what we can do is make one connection point here, and then we'll have right here in the center is where we'll have the branch off, right? This is where you'll connect to the downtown and the residential. This will sort of be the large interchange. So let's start over here then. And as much as I like these little trench things and whatnot, I don't think this is the area for it. I might leave that, but let's give ourselves some room to play with the interchange. This height stuff might come back to be a bit of an issue, but we'll try. Actually, I think I'm gonna redo this. There's like these weird curves in here. Oh, yeah, that's no good. So, you know what? We're going to end up redoing all this anyway. We have the money to do it. Oh, that's pretty close to the edge there. We have the money to do it. So, let's get this all on the same plane. We'll kind of do what we did last time, where we just sloped them down. Like that. You know, real gentle. But, yeah, these should not be so curvy and dumb. So I'm going to actually keep that straight for a minute. And I'll keep that straight for a minute. And then I'll just curve them in. Can I grab that? Yes. Can I get that? Snag that guy. There we go. 179, close enough. Okay, so let me flip the direction on those. Beautiful. Yeah, that is much better. Much better. Okay, cool. So then, I do think this should be a four-way interchange because there will be things on this side. Not maybe a ton of stuff, but I think we should plan sort of the future of it. So let's see, what that means is that we'll just cross it with the highway and we'll just sort of end the highway somewhere over here. So we'll stick with the 3-lane highway. Let's kind of make a decision about where we want to do that. So let's go to 15. Forgot already. And let's cross right about there. Yeah. 15, I think, seems about right. Okay, so we can go... I'm going to take this out just a little bit more straight. And I'm going to bring this up just a bit more straight. And then let's make our nice curve. I'm going to have to eyeball this. 177... better than that. 180. Perfect. 178.2. 78.4. We're losing it there. 179.3. Yeah, we'll take that. Cool. And then we have that really, really nice curve. Let me turn this. It all working the right direction. Okay. And I don't know exactly where these are going to go yet, but let's pull it out. Like that. And then I'm going to do that just to turn it, because this is... The story of this highway is not over yet. We're going to either curve it and end it somehow. There might be some sort of a roundabout. I don't know. But we do need to make this connection point to the highway. So I think I'm going to use the two lane to then merge onto the 3. Yeah, that seems about right. Yeah, so let's do that. So let's keep this pretty simple. This will curve. Let's see. Make this fairly tight. Actually, wait a minute. I'm just thinking about this. My brain's having trouble with this. So I need an off point to here. And then I need an off point to the other side. An on point to here. Because if I just do a 4-way, that's not going to counter for the turn offs. So what I could do is create somewhat of a clover. That's kind of interesting. I might be trying to get too into the weeds with this, but let me saving the game. There we go. Because if I go off, you know, I want to use the 2-lane roads. They're just so much easier to use. The highway roads want to bend on each other like that, and I want to make sure I can get that nice curve. So if I come off here and go 7 to 7 and then 7 to 7. If I can make something like that, right? So this connects, and this connects. Like so. So this is your off. You come down and you go to there. This side loops up and connects around and gets back onto there. Or excuse me, this side comes around and loops back up. So we'd have to do that on each side, though? Does that make sense? I'm not sure my brain knows what I'm doing right now. But I kind of like the idea of this. So, yeah, because then we give ourselves both options. The only thing I wouldn't have is being able to get around to the other side. Okay, so here's what I've come up with. Basically what I did was I sat for a while thinking about it. See, I've played this guy. This is a perfect example. I have played this game for 5+ years, and Interchanges still confuse the hell out of me. And so all I did was I essentially just did the exact same thing on the other side. And what this does is it looks pretty cool. You know, I'm pretty happy with how it looks. Is it basically gives you an off to exit onto that highway, and then it gives you a way to get on from this side. The only thing that this interchange is not offering at the current juncture is a way for you to get from this highway over to this highway. Now, there's ways we can do that. However, for now, I'm going to leave it this sort of clean version of it. And we won't worry about sort of the turnaround and trying to get to the other side. That will be something that we'll probably have to tackle in the future. But for this version of it, I think I'm going to leave it as is. Because it's just going to kind of... It's going to add a little bit of messiness to it. I'm going to have to try to figure out how to get... Yeah, it's just a little bit messy. However, they are able to get to their other sides. Oh, I got to fix this a little bit. But overall, I think it's a pretty nice little system. And yeah, so I'm pretty happy with it. I think it looks fairly clean. We have a little bit of sort of a, I don't know, I guess it's sort of a, I don't even know what you would call this. Is it a clover leaf? Not real sure exactly what it's called, but I think it does its function pretty well and gives you a nice curve as you kind of head on over to your interchange there. But yeah, so those are all going the right direction, and now we can kind of see where we want to go. This also allows us to bring this rail through and make a decision about where that transport hub is. Now, the transport hub is going to land, I think, a little bit of where we want to go with our interchange here. And this is going to be the way that we get off the highway. So what this will be is probably, I think I'm going to want to use a 6-lane road. And I'm going to grab this point. I'm going to stretch it. I'm going to give ourselves a little bit more space. I might even kind of bring that out, sort of following that contour line. Something like that a little bit. I don't know. We can finesse that later. But what that then will allow us to do is sort of make a decision about where our road is going to be. So for now, it's going to be a 6-lane road. So let's connect it like that, potentially. And I'm just going to kind of pull that out. And then for this, I'm going to turn it. This is going to curve around. I don't know exactly where that's going yet, but we're gonna figure it out. Now, I could make this a dumbbell, sort of roundabout at the bottom, but I don't know if I actually want to do that. Instead, I think I just want to have another 2-lane road coming off of this. So let's go up to 9. And we'll keep this fairly simple because we have to remember this is this shouldn't, actually, can I just kind of follow that just a little bit, and then we'll curve it from there like that and bring it to there. Okay, so that will be the on point. And that will only allow you to go straight off of it this direction. Straight in. That might cause issues at some point because people are going to probably want to create a turnaround there. But I'm going to see how that kind of works. So let's do... And now, what I could do is another sort of half clover type of deal. Man, the roundabouts just make it so much easier. Because what I don't want is them turning left. You don't want them turning left, especially on that hard turn. Gosh, it might be better to do a clover. Okay, we'll do a clover. We'll just do the clover. It's going to be easier. So I'm going to have this intersect right about here. And I'm going to make it a 2-lane road. And then those will just end up being lights, which also might turn out to be a really bad idea. But we'll let future us worry about that. Get that going. That's actually about right. So let me turn that. Again, we're taking up a lot of space here, but I think it's going to be okay. If I go up to, it's 15, right? Yeah. Give ourselves a little something there. I'll start to curve it. And we're going to want to go to 9 like that. I don't love that curve, but we'll see how that shakes out. Let's just build it, and then we can sort of make that decision, you know, when we get there. So then over here, it's gonna be a pretty quick approach. Let's go up to 9 there, and then 15, and in. Like so. It's not the worst. This curve can be adjusted. You know, we can... Yeah, we can start to turn off snapping. You know, make that a little bit nicer looking. Okay, then over here, this is a little bit more confusing because of the curve. But I think I still want to maintain... How far is this? Give myself 13 units. Let me give myself that same 13 units, but I want to kind of keep it... Perfect. Perfect. There we go. Now we know that that is straight. Okay, we'll do the same thing we did on the other side. Or similarly as possible. Okay. How far was that, out of curiosity? Those were 13 units. Okay, that's a couple units off. So let me trim... Oh, let me trim those. Okay. And this is going to go up and around. That's kind of a hideous curve. I think we should probably try to... Yeah, we go. Yeah, so then that will come like that. Make a curve there. It's actually not too bad. That will connect up there. Okay, that's that. And then the in, simply, let's go off. And then I want to kind of mirror this. That. Back it up. And then... Actually... Then I can just maybe grab this. And curve it. There. Again, it's a big interchange, but there's going to be a lot of traffic going through here. So we kind of need to make it feel pretty large. Now this is... quite a maze that we're creating here, but it's functional. It's very, very functional. Wow, a lot of infrastructure in these episodes, guys. Lot of infrastructure, but it's gonna be really, really important. This is starting to already take shape. Like, I'm starting to kind of see where we can sort of afford ourselves the transport hub. I think it's gonna fit in real nice right here because it's gonna be close to the highway, allowing people to get off, park, you know, take the train from the city into the suburbs. Yeah, I think it'll be good. So I think next time we'll tackle the transport hub and get the rail in. But everybody, thank you so much for watching. I do muchly appreciate it, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next episode of Bountiful Bayou here in City Skylines. Bye, everybody.